when you hear that term absolute value. We could be talking about the absolute value of a number. That's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk also about absolute value functions and absolute value equations. But for a real number a, the absolute value is written as this. A with two vertical lines around it. And is a positive number. So if you see a number with those two vertical lines around it, it's going to be a positive number. Two vertical bars around a number or expression are used to represent the absolute value of the number or expression. For example, the absolute value of a positive number is a positive number. So if we do the absolute value of positive 5, it's 5. The absolute value of 0 is 0. The absolute value of a negative number is the negative of that number, resulting in the positive value of that number. Go ahead. The absolute value of a negative number is the negative of that number, resulting in the positive value of that number.
So it's negative 5.
So it's negative 5, which is equal to 5. So you skip that negative 5 step, but it's in there as an explanation, and we're going to use that later on when we're looking at expressions and functions and equations. The absolute value of a negative number is negative of that number. So negative 5, which is positive 5. But for today, basically what you need to remember is if the number inside the absolute value sign is positive, then it's positive. If it's negative, it's also positive. So the absolute value of 5 is the same as the absolute value of negative 5. They're both just 5. Sometimes we talk about, this is a definition that I like of absolute value. It's the distance of a number from 0 on a number line. So if we look at this number line, 0 is here. And then if we're going to look at positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 5 units away. But if you look at negative 5, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away. So however far it is from 0, that distance, that's the absolute value. So whether you're going in a negative direction or a positive direction doesn't matter. And then this little part at the bottom, we're going to talk about that more when we're talking about functions. In general, the absolute value of a real number a, the absolute value of a is defined as a if a is greater than or equal to 0, and negative a if a is less than 0. Here are some expressions to evaluate. So this one is the absolute value of negative 4 minus the absolute value of negative 3. So for that first one, what's the absolute value of negative 4?
4.
What's the absolute value of negative 3? 3. So it just becomes 4 minus 3, which is 1. In the second one, those absolute values signs act as a bracket. So you do the stuff that's inside first, and then take the absolute value. So it's like those are brackets. So you don't do the absolute value of negative 12 and the absolute value of 8 and add them. You do negative 12 plus 8, which is negative 4, and then do the absolute value of that, which is 4. I'm glad you like it. So the same thing in the last one. Do what's inside first. So we'll do 12 times negative 3, which is negative 36, plus 5 squared, which is 25. So we have the absolute value of negative 36 plus 25. Negative 36 plus 25. Negative 11. Absolute value of negative 11 is 11.